Welcome to Chatting the Pictures. My name is Cara Finnegan, and I'm a writer, teacher, and historian of photography.
And I'm Michael Shaw. I'm a writer, a psychologist, and also publisher of Reading the Pictures.
As the climate crisis begins to receive the attention it deserves, the imagery is evolving as well. The research and activist organization Climate Visuals has been spearheading the systematic creation and distribution of photographs that better illustrate the crisis and efforts to overcome it.
This photo was taken by photographer Giacomo di Orlando for Climate Visuals. It depicts Nemo's Garden, a self-sustainable underwater farm started in 2012 in Noli, Italy. Effectively an underwater greenhouse, 6 air-filled clear plastic pods, some large enough for divers to place half a body in, are anchored to the bottom of the sea. With 70% of the world's fresh water going to agriculture and the planet running dry, these biospheres are part of our green future.
One of the main goals of Climate Visuals is to construct a new visual language for depicting climate change. They want us to get beyond the stereotypical image of a polar bear floating on an iceberg or belching smokestacks. And instead, what they want to offer is not just a group of images that depict climate more creatively, but they offer 7 principles for effective visual communication about climate. And these principles are based on research. So this image we have here is a solution image. Climate Visuals research shows that audiences want to see more images depicting solutions. And in particular, this image highlights a couple of their principles for effective communication. The first is showing a vision for the future. We see that here in this kind of otherworldly scene of these pods, right, that look like a spaceship landing on a planet, or maybe they are some kind of animal crawling around on the floor of the ocean. This image really gives us this idea of both technology and science, and yet also something very comfortably natural. So showing a vision for the future, underwater farming. The other thing that Climate Visuals is invested in is telling new stories. This image absolutely tells a story that most people are unaware of, that most people have not seen. And so to me, it's the split image. An image of just the pods under the water would be interesting, but to see it situated in contrast with a very kind of tourist, beautiful scene of the Italian coastline is visually jarring and exciting and new.
Yeah, I think that the image is really great for pivoting off of so much disaster that we've seen. And then, there's also a kind of romanticism to this photograph. This takes us back to Fantastic Voyage. There's kind of a Jules Verne vibe here. And then if you're of a certain age, this also speaks to this kind of history of undersea research vessels from the 60s. There's Sea Lab and the famous Jacques Cousteau that comes to mind. These projects from NASA in the 70s. And even now, although seems like outer space gets all of the attention, NASA has the Aquarius Undersea Lab, where these aquanauts live for up to 3 weeks at a time. It's off Key Largo, Florida. So there's a lot to like in this photograph conceptually, and that's before you even get to the actual picture itself. Orientation is also really strange. We're partly above the water, we're partly below the water. Where are we? How are we orienting to the climate crisis and the climate future? And the photograph in some way kind of throws us into that mix, but then gives us some grounding, literally, with the farm.
It's really brilliant for the way that it does all of these things. And that initial glance, I think, that the viewer gets at this photo is really what draws you in. You immediately look at this and you say, what is this? It is just visually confusing enough to make you want to settle in and look. And then that makes you want to know more. And that's really what I think Climate Visuals is after. They want to use visual images to invite people to understand things about climate, and especially in this case about climate solutions, that they literally have never seen before, but that are out there and that need to be understood.